This is Francis, classmate ko nung college. We're from the same school, Philippine Normal University, Bachelor of Science major in Biology for Teachers. So, di ba mga biology, mga teachers talaga kami by profession. Pero ayun, anyari.
Shift na career.
Nag-shift kami ng mga careers. Ako, full-time photographer, videographer, studio owner. But at the same time, part din ako ng as an insurance agent. Ito yung recruiter ko. Ayan, siya ang recruiter ko.
Full-time.
Yes, full-time naman under... Pwede ba yun sabihin? Hindi,
Huwag na,
basta, siya yung recruiter ko. Hindi, pwede natin sabihin under Axis Life Insurance Agency. So,
yes.
Guys, kung gusto nyo sumali sa team namin.
You're looking for part-timers, guys.
Extra income or possible new career opportunity, ayan. So, pwede nyo i-message kahit sino sa amin. Or, siya na lang actually. Mas i-message nyo to. Kasi, full-time. Diba? Mas mabibigyan kayo ng maraming oras. Recently, may nakita ako na post from Bea Boris. She mentioned in her video na hindi ba common dito sa Philippines yung magkaroon ng generational wealth. And a lot of people actually reacted from that video. May mga comments sila na ang common lang dito sa Philippines ay utang. Para sa iyo, ano ba yung generational wealth?
Basically, it's a yaman or assets na ipapasa mo to the next generation. So regardless naman kung magkano yun, basta meron kang maipapasa sa susunod na henerasyon. Yun lang. That's generational wealth.
Okay. So, yaman. Now, in terms of Philippine setup, is it really possible ba na magkaroon ng generational wealth, let's say, most of the Filipinos?
Most of the Filipinos, you mean above 50%, technically, tingin ko hindi siya kaya. But, siguro, 43% of the population, because that's the middle class, guys, that's the amount of middle class we have in the Philippines, feeling ko kaya kung gagawa ng paraan. So, yun, marami namang opportunities or marami namang ways on how to create generational wealth or makapagpasa ng asset to the next generation. And medyo, medyo positive din ako in a way sa Philippine setup na yun because we are an emerging market. So, tataas yung income eventually. And then, yun, and with the right amount of planning and preparation ng mga in the middle class as of the moment, feeling ko kaya naman in the long run.
Okay, pero in terms of like most talaga, like more than half of the population hanggang ngayon ay...
Sa ngayon, feeling ko hindi pa. But in the next 10 years, 20 years, feeling ko mangyayari siya because of the current situation sa investment dito sa Philippines, dumadagsa. So, mag-generate ng mas maraming trabaho. And then, yung mga policies ng government ngayon in terms of finances, monetary, investments, lahat yan. So, mag-a-attract ng investors, dadami trabaho, tataas kita, parang ganon. So, but as of the moment, parang malabo na beyond 50% of the population. But in the next 10 to 20 years, probably yes.
Okay. Now, what could be the possible reason or reasons bakit ba marami sa mga Pilipino, even the middle class themselves, hindi nakakapag-start or nakakapag-generate ng wealth, ng generational wealth?
First is yung financial situation. Kasi we need to understand na hindi porke middle class is parang kaya na mag-ipon because may mga sinusuportahan yan, di ba? So, especially in our case, di ba, we support our family, tayo yung breadwinners. So, may mga tao na same situation natin. And most of the time, sa mga ganong klaseng situation, nahihirapan sila mag-manage ng pera. And that is one of the main reason kung bakit feeling ko nahihirapan mag-build ng wealth kasi maraming sinusuportahan, parang ganon. So, it's more of the management of money talaga.
Okay. Nabanggit niya, rather, sa kanyang sharing na middle class. Siguro, it's better also na i-share natin sa mga makikinig na paano nga ba natin nakakategorize yung sarili natin as poor, middle class. Kasi parang may nakita akong chart niyan na may lower middle class, may middle class, upper middle class, ano pa yun? bago
Upper
mag-reach.
middle.
Upper middle.
Tapos meron pang
Upper class. Tapos reach. So, how can we categorize? Ano yung monetary value ng bawat antas ng tao pagdating sa money?
Kailangan natin maging accurate, guys. Search natin,
Yan.
double check natin. Ito, Esquire na lang.
Yan, Esquire. Okay.
Esquire. So, yung poor, considered kayo na poor, guys, if your income is below 10,957. Yun, below that. And then, lower income, but not poor. Okay, so 10,957 to 21,914 monthly income.
Ito ay family, as a family generational income or individual?
Parang individual siya.
Okay, so individual sa isang family. Okay.
So, or parang hindi, parang household yata.
Household na to. Okay. So sa household, yun yung kapag ganun yung income considered as poor. And then yung isa naman ay
low income but not poor.
Okay.
So household ito, guys, combined. And then lower middle, if you are earning 21,914 to 43,828. Lower middle class. Then middle is the 43,828 and up to 76,669. Then upper middle is 76,131. 76,000 up to 131,000. Upper middle but not rich, 131,000 up to 219, and then rich is considered pag ang income mo ay 219,000 and above.
Okay.
Yeah, this is based from Esquire Philippines, guys.
I hope na from that information, you can actually reflect where you at right now in terms of financial status. Napareflect din tuloy ako.
Asan ba ako doon?
Asan ba ako doon? Ayoko din. Anyway, pero yun, basta at least pwede mo rin siyang gawing inspiration, guys. Kasi pag nalaman mo na, ito pala yung income ko, ito na yung classification ko. And if you're really aiming to become rich, so makikita mo dun sa numbers na yun na, do I really have to work harder, or double time, di ba? Ayan. Pero, ayun, sabihin natin middle class. Ang dami pa rin talagang tao na hindi talaga nakakapag-ipon. Isa yun eh. Or they cannot establish a certain discipline in terms of how they handle their money. Diba? And in the Philippines, sobrang common kasi ng loan. Sobrang common ng pangutang. Parang naging parte na siya ng kultura natin. I myself, hindi ako excuse dito sa culture na to na it may fun, should I say, parang sobrang nainganyo yung mga tao na magkaroon ng loan, magkaroon ng utang sa ibang tao, or magkaroon ng utang sa bangko. Para sa'yo, is it really a good thing na here in the Philippines, there's an opportunity for us to have debts, to have loans?
May dalawa kasing klase ng debt, guys. So if you're familiar with it, good debt and bad debt. Pag good debt, you use the money to generate more money. Bad debt is you use that money for consumption. So, debt is good and bad at the same time. So, depende na lang yan kung paano mo siya gagamitin. So, for me, it's good kung maganda yung paggagamitan. And it's bad kung pangit yung paggagamitan.
Yeah. Sabagay, totoo naman. Ako, I actually experienced also. Ito, sasabihin ko na ito dito. I experienced having a credit card for the first time. Probably that was year 2020. No, not 2020. It's actually before. So 2018, 2019 nagkaroon ako ng credit card. And I must say, because that's the first time that I had, and noong mga time na yun, wala pa akong financial, hindi pa ako immersed sa financial literacy, na hindi ko siya nagamit ng maayos. Pero I was able to zero kung ano man yung utang ko dun sa ano na yun. 10K lang naman eh. Pero, ayun, so dahil sa experience na yun, right now, I don't actually have a credit card. Kasi, medyo negative pa sa akin ang use ng credit card. So, as much as possible, I buy all my stuff, all my things, equipment man sa business ko, ito, sa photography, videography ko. Lahat ko binibili ng cash. Or kung hindi man, ang nagiging option ko is home credit, Lazada, doon ako bumibili kasi pag nakikita ko yung I really have to pay monthly, yung ganong mindset. Siguro given na rin na lately I'm so immersed na sa financial literacy on how I handle money. Ayun, mas yun yung kino-consider ko muna na ginagamit ko for buying stuff through debts. Kasi lahat naman ng binibili ko na ginagamitan ko ng Lazada Pay Later or ng home credit is or are yung mga equipment na alam ko makakapag-generate ng money. Pero so far, hindi ako bumibili talaga ng gamit like damit, like anything na consumable, lahat yun bibilin ko through the use of my own cash. So, ganun ako ngayon mag-manage ng money ko. Ikaw, how do you manage your money so far?
Both. So, I use debt. Before, hindi ako nag-credit card, guys. Kasi yun nga, hindi ako familiar on how to use it. Paano siya gamitin, tapos ano yung benefits niya. And ngayon, na medyo na-immerse na ako sa financial literacy katulad mo, mas nagagamit mo na siya. So, yeah. Pero hindi palaging credit card. So, hindi rin palaging cash. So, it's a mix of both. So, parang ganun ako ngayon. So, pero dadating din siguro yung time na kapag mas confident na ako, I should say, in using credit, baka mas mag-geared ako towards credit. So, pero may mga reasons ako doon, guys. No? So, number one, share ko na. Number one is mas safe kasi gamitin if you are using credit card. So, let's say if you are paying online, pag nag-credit card ka, syempre hindi mo pera yung ginamit mo. And if in case, kumbaga makuha yung credit card details mo, at least hindi mo pera yung nawala. So, that's the pera ng bangko, kung sino yung nagbabayad nun. And mas madali din siyang matrack because of, again, you are using it to pay versus cash.
Yeah.
Diba? So, and kung i-compare mo yung credit sa debit, yung debit, cash mo yun eh. Yun yung pambabayad mo. So, what if yun yung mahak? O, edi wala na yung cash mo. Versus kung credit card, so mas safe siya. So, yun yung main reason. Tapos, mas madali rin siya i-track for me as of the moment na credit card yung gagamitin. Kasi naggagawa siya ng parang list.
Statement of account.
Yung transactions.
Yeah.
So, parang ganon, no? But again, it's a combination, no? Hindi ko siya palaging ginagamit. Depende kung I have cash on me, I pay cash. So, again, hindi pa ako din ganon ka-confident na mag-full credit.
Yeah.
So, again, it's a mix of both.
There. So, at least narinig nyo na guys na there's actually a positive side in terms of using credit card. It's really more on educating ourselves din talaga, no? Or immersing ourselves sa financial literacy. Kasi siguro sa una, marami talaga I can relate na sa una when you have the first time to use a credit card, may chance na kapag hindi mo alam paano gamitin or wala kang discipline in terms of using it, you can overly consume. What's the capacity or the limit of the credit card? At baka kung saan mo lang siya gamitin and hindi mo siya agad bayaran. Yun naman yung iniiwasan natin yung hindi agad bayaran yung ano man na inutang natin, di ba, dun sa credit card.
At saka guys, I just want to add, no, meron kasing study na kinonduct about that when using credit card. So, parang mas psychology to ha. Parang mas masakit daw if you are using your cash to pay versus credit card. Kaya people, when they have credit card, they opt to choose na mag-pay using credit card. So, kasi nga, hindi siya mas masakit compare if you pay cash kasi makikita mo na nawawala yung pera mo. So, ayun. It's up to you. Again, kanya-kanya din kasi yun eh. Kung feeling mo, it's more of a feeling kasi no?
Yes.
Oo.
Actually, I can relate doon sa sinabi niya na kapag cash yung kapag cash yung binabayad mo, talagang ramdam mo na yung pinagpaguran mong pera, hala na mapupunta lang sa ganito, mapupunta sa ganito. Totoo yun. Kasi para sa akin na I switched to more on cash instead of credit card, which I think soon baka gusto ko rin maibalik yung discipline ko sa paggamit ng credit card. Pero for now, I'm happy na I'm using most of the time cash lang. Kasi mas nararamdaman ko yung value din ng item na binibili ko, or even for kapag lumalabas, mas nafe-feel ko yung rewarding sa sarili ko na whenever I buy food, I buy something, or I go somewhere else, at sariling kong pinagpaguran na pera yung ginamit ko sa pambayad, mas may fulfillment naman sa akin na, okay, dito napunta yung pera na pinaghirapan ko. Yun. Unlike kapag credit card, let's say sa Lazada Pay Later, tulad yan, pag bumibili ako ng gamit, hindi talaga siya painful kasi I can pay naman monthly, or I can pay naman after a month. So, pero ang strategy ko naman doon kung bakit ginagamit ko yung Lazada Pay Later, home credit, is for me to maximize muna rin yung fund na pwede pang matira sa akin. Halimbawa, instead of paying cash for an amount, let's say 6,000, dahil nga mahal talaga equipment ko, ginagawa ko staggered payment. Yes, there's an interest, pero ang binibigay kasi niya sa akin is yung convenience, and at the same time, mas dahil sa staggered siya, nakikita ko yung monthly payment ko, nakikita ko rin kung magkano rin yung bumabalik na pera sa akin every time na may project ako. For example, whenever, nag-invest ako dito sa microphone. So, dahil monthly ko siyang binabayaran, chine-check ko din kung ilang beses ko ba ito nagagamit sa isang buwan, ilang projects, at parang tinatry ko na i-breakdown magkano yung nakukuha ko sa project in return doon sa pagbili ko ng gamit na to. So, kung may ROI ba every month, better. Unlike kasi kapag isang bagsakan, minsan ito yung masakit, isang bagsakan, paano ko nasira? Ayun, ang sakit nun sa puso. Unlike kapag staggered, yes, babayaran ko pa rin siya over the months na kailangan ko siya bayaran. Pero, hindi masakit na, let's say, 1,000 a month. Hindi siya ganun kasakit kumpara sa isang bagsakan. 6,000, 7,000, 10,000. Ayun. Yun yung reason kung bakit I opt to buy my equipment gamit ang credits.
So kasi it's a kind of good debt din, guys, no? Kasi nabanggit niya that he is using it para sa mga projects niya. So, ayun, again, it depends on how you use credit eh. So if it's a money generating or income generating, kumbaga parang if you use it to generate income, then that's good, that's fine. So, but if you will use it for consumption, baka hindi magandang mangutang. Ayun lang. With that?
Yeah, with that. So, thank you guys. Please stay tuned sa mga susunod natin na episodes, sa mga susunod natin na podcast series. It's me, Mikael, and together with me,
Francis Angeles. We are both financial advisors and business men or entrepreneurs. And so,
support mga social media.
Social media, guys, Angeles Francis sa IG, and TikTok Angeles Francis lang din. Facebook Francis Angeles. So, yun lang.
Guys, follow nyo to kasi meron siyang 60-day challenge
yes,
na where you can learn how to
manage your income, or yung untitled ko nga doon, Personal Finance Empowerment Journey. So,
it's very important, guys, and it's very beneficial para sa inyo.
And
kahit sa akin, pinapanood ko yun. Minsan napapareflect ako, tama ba yung ginagawa ko? Ayun. So, may makukuha ka talaga, guys.
At saka very hindi siya intermediate level. So, pang beginner. So, if you're a beginner, learning how to manage your money, then yun. Follow lang po kayo. Everyday ako nagpo-post for 60 days. Nas day 9 na ako today.
So, panoorin nyo guys, ha? Follow na. Okay? Bye!
Bye!